Hey guys, it's Jane. I'm not sure how long the battery is going to last, so I'm just going to do this as quick as I can. It is Friday today. It's stinking hot. Before we go any further, I'd just like to say it's Australia Day. I'm recognising that I live on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and yeah, I just want to acknowledge that again. I don't have anything particularly Australian going on today. I'm not cooking lamb. There will be lamingtons and Anzac biscuits though. The Anzac biscuits just because I randomly baked them earlier in the week, and the lamingtons because they were on special at the supermarket. Hey, before I get into my quick Friday reads, I'm going to say that I have a giveaway open that is closing at the end of the month, so if you are interested, it's actually an Australian book, so that's an Australian Day linked themey thing. I will link in the description to the video that you need to go and leave a comment on if you're interested in entering my giveaway, so I'll be drawing that soon. BookTube SFF Awards are here again. Nominations are now open. I'll link in the description. Nominations are closing on February the 4th, so if you've read some great SFF this year that was published in 2017, go ahead and nominate. Do it. Do it. Do it. You know you want to. I'm not going to cry, so I'm just going to touch really briefly and saying Ursula Leguin passed this week, and that is a tremendously sad thing. She was a good old age, but she was just such a legend, and in her writing and in her principled stand on so many things in life. Her book, A Wizard of Earthsea, was one of the most formative fantasy books in my childhood, much more formative for me than Lord of the Rings or anything like that. And it's just very sad, but it's part of what it is to be human, isn't it? We all die. It's coming for all of us. Which doesn't stop it being tremendously sad. I'm moving on. As I said, I'm not sure how long the battery's going to last. I don't even know if it's still recording, but we're going to run through this as quickly as I can. I haven't made one of these for a couple of weeks, so I've got a list of things that I'm not going to talk about in any great depth. You may or may not have noticed I have not been reading any SFF lately. I decided that I was going to give myself a break for a month and read different things, because I read 90% SFF, and I just wanted a change of pace. In summer, I usually only want to read trash most of the time, and I've got to the point where I don't even really enjoy trashy SFF anymore. So yeah, reading other things. And I'm now at the point of really looking forward to February so I can get back into science fiction, but it was good to have a break. So none of these are science fiction, and for those of you who are new subscribers and have heard that I talk about science fiction, I'm really sorry about that. There will be some coming soon. Okay, I read All Grown Up by Jami Attenberg. This was recommended to me by Rinsey from Rinsey Reads, who I love, but I have to say this did not do it for me at all. So I am not going to recommend that one to you. After that, I read Spinning Around by Catherine Jinks. Catherine Jinks, one of my favourite Australian authors. She writes a lot of fantasy for middle grade kind of people. This is not either a fantasy or a middle grade work, and it was not great. So again, I'm not particularly going to recommend that one. I read Aunty Lee's Delights by Ovidia, which is a crime mystery set in Singapore. I love me a mystery story. I am particularly fond of a Singaporean setting. I actually really enjoyed the main characters in this, and I probably will be reading more in the series, but there were, for me, representation issues, as in all of the Christians in this book are treated like hypocritical asshats, basically, and yeah, for me, I could do without that. After that one, I read Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman and Alexie. This is, been recommended by a million people a million times, and I finally got around to reading it, and it was a great read. So there you go. That one was a good one. And after that, I read another one which I really enjoyed. So we're finally getting to some good stuff here. The Readahlics and the Falcon Fiasco by Laura DiSilverio. Another first in a series of a cozy crime thing. This is the main characters are part of a book club. I loved this. It was exactly the kind of level of fluffy that I was looking for without being intelligence insultingly stupid. So yay for that. And I will be reading more of Laura DiSilverio's Bookaholics series. Oh, Readahlics. Okay, after that I read Meet Your Baker by Alexander, another cozy crime. This one I chose because the Cozy Mystery Book Club, which is just being launched by Courtney from Cortagonist, has picked it as their first read. Sadly, I did not enjoy this one as much as the Readaholics one. So, yeah, and as I read it one after the other, it didn't help. It didn't help. After that, I decided I think I kind of got to my limit of cozy crime for a while. I read The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Brontë. And I loved and hated this in almost equal measures. I have so many thoughts about this and the battery isn't going to last for that, so I'm not going to talk about it. I will link to my Goodreads review where I kind of let it all hang out. If anybody is interested in my thoughts, ask me and we can talk about it in the comments. After that, I finished one more, which is kind of come full circle. It's called Falling Into Trouble by Sarah Tidal, and this is like a straight out romance. I read a recommendation for this by Kirsti from Melbourne's On My Mind, the late lamented Melbourne's On My Mind, and I picked it up. It's a librarians in love story and it was fantastic. I read it in an afternoon and it was perfect. It was perfect for my mood yesterday. So yay, librarians in love. The cover art is terrible and neither of the two main characters look in their descriptions in the book like the people on the front cover.